finally here. It's finally starting. Yes, we begin episode 1 of this new segment, Weebs and Waifus, here in Geeks and Gamers Premium. And now it's time to get started. Remember, my name is Ivan, your host, and Kalan, your co-host. And enjoy your stay. First off, again, thank you so much for doing this. I know a lot of people wanted to get your input because, I mean, let's face it, there is a huge demand for anime content, especially in the geek community. But for whatever reason, it only took 3 years for Geeks and Gamers to jump into the
I know.
pool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because I think throughout my life growing up as a kid, and I think that some of us can relate to this, but we've always seen anime, but we didn't recognize it as anime. You know, like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Ninja Scrolls. Like back then, at least for me, I remember it as cartoons. They weren't really known as anime at the time. Maybe for some, but I don't remember it that way. But how I got into anime was one day I was like, you know what? I want to just start an anime, just really bold. I want to get into an anime. And one that stood out to me was Dragon Ball Z, to be exact, and I did a video on this, but it just reminded me of being at my grandmother's house as a kid, you know, seeing it on TV, on her television, feeling like that environment around me. And so Dragon Ball is what really got me into anime.
Okay, so top 3 family moments for you in Dragon Ball.
Oof. Okay, so my top 1 would have to be Vegeta and Trunks when,
that one.
That moment there. And I don't know if I should say it because of the spoil. Like, I don't know people who haven't watched it. I don't know if I should give.
If they haven't, shame on them. Like, but it's beyond past their time. So yes, go for it.
I just love that scene so much. You know, for someone who is into Dragon Ball and knows Vegeta's character, you will understand that in that moment, it's very shocking because that's a side of Vegeta that no one has really ever seen before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one that really stood out to me. Top 2 would have to be the whole training with Goku and Gohan when Gohan turned Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan for the first time. Yes,
in the time.
Yes, the hyperbolic time chamber. When they were training, I do love that moment right there. And when they came out, and then Chi-Chi was like crying her eyes out because she was like, "Oh no, my son turns like punk. He's a punker or whatever." Like that part was so funny. I do love the whole Goku and Gohan moments because, you know, there's a lot of people saying that he's a bad father, and even though I could agree with some aspects of that, I just love seeing those moments together. And if you watch the movies, you'll see a lot of them spending time with one another. So I always like seeing that, you know, Goku, main character, everyone loves him. And it's nice to see him spend time with his children, especially Gohan, another character that we all love.
Yeah.
My third is when Goku comes back. And he only has to, when he comes back to fight in the tournament and he meets Goten for the first time. That was a very touchy moment.
And he's behind like Chi-Chi, like this girl. And she's like, no, that's your dad. Yeah.
And I love that Chi-Chi is not yelling at Goku. You know, like that's a very moment that we all love about Chi-Chi. But that was a very touchy moment, you know, not just like Goten, but getting to see everyone see Goku again, you know, like getting to see. I love that they zoom up on everyone's reaction. And that is something that I love.
Okay, so you know we have a section called the Japanese word of the day. Well, today we're going to learn a new word in Japanese. Everyone knows how to say thank you, which is?
Arigato.
Yes. If you want to make it formal, is domo arigato.
Domo arigato.
Now, Most people, and I think, know arigato. But today we're going to learn how to say you're welcome. So, because that is something that a lot of people seem to overlook, which is the response to things. So, in today's section of Japanese Word of the Day, we will learn to say you're welcome. And that is doita
Doita
shi
shi
mashite.
mashite.
Yes. Doita shi mashite.
Oh my goodness, that's just you're welcome. Can you imagine me forming like an actual sentence? Wow.
Yeah, so doita shi mashite.
Okay. Interesting. There you go. I can't repeat that. Oh my gosh.
It is a
Shite.
doita shi
Doita shima
shite.
shite.
Doita shi mashite. So did you learn today a new word?
I believe I did. Yes.
Well, actually 2 words.
2 words. That's right.
The
Thank
first
you.
one is thank you, and you say it.
Arigato. Yes.
So if you say arigato to me,
Arigato.
I would say doita shimashite, meaning you're welcome.
You're welcome. You know, want to know another thing I've learned with the whole cultural is that you don't really see them shaking hands. You see a lot of bowing. And that is something that you notice as well. And with that, I've got to see a lot of videos based in Japan. And they do mention that where they prefer to bow. They're not really big on shaking hands. You'll see a lot of, there's a lot of respectable people in Japan. I mean, when you see them ride the subway, they're usually very quiet. They keep to themselves, you know, very respectable people. And it's just a whole different world over there. I mean, you look at it and I swear it's like New York, but with nicer people.
The conversation is fantastic so far. I can't believe we're so deep into it, and there's way more than just a plain I like it, I don't like it answer. There's a lot of whys. But I need to pause the conversation for a moment because it's time for Kalan's segment, Kalan's recommendation of the week. So with that brings me into, like, I would say the meat of why we're doing this on the first episode, which is you a newcomer to anime versus someone that kind of grew up with it. We have found a complete common ground and appreciation to one story that has been beyond disciplined in itself, with major involvement from his creator, which is Attack on Titan. You know, I think anyone that is a newcomer or a seasoned veteran can relate to this particular anime.
Oh yeah.
So I want to get your input in just a general aspect. Why do you like it?
Why do I like Attack on Titan?
Yes.
Oh man, there's so many things that I love about it. For starters, what really, and I think that a lot of people agree with me on this, but that first episode really just pulls you in because of what takes place at the end of that episode. That really puts you in that, oh my gosh, is this what this show is all about? Even though it kind of is, we learn down the road that it kind of shapeshifts into something different, but that's just one of the many things. The way that it dragged me in, I love their whole ODM gear. I think that's original. It's different. It's sharp. It's clean. I love the characters. You know, I love seeing their backstories. My 2 favorite are Mikasa and Levi for obvious reasons. They're just incredible. Incredible characters. But I will say that there are other few that maybe some people might not agree with me with, but I do love Erwin and Armin so much. Mainly for just like the way that they carry themselves, and I love Armin for his mind.
I want to play a little game with you.
Okay. Oh boy.
This little game of mine. It's called Guess the Intro.
Ah.
So you know that I play the drums. Mm-hmm. So what I decided to do is to play the intro of an anime.
Ah.
But you will only hear the drums.
Right.
Your mission is to guess the intro.
Oh boy.
of the anime as the song, like the song will come along under it subtly, and then the actual picture of the intro. But your goal is to find out or guess which intro it is before it is actually revealed.
Okay. Now, I'm ready. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really fast paced because I do know that in season 3, like the beginning, there's a very like softer intro, and then later on it shows the one with like the basement, like in the end. But then I know I think that's from. Because the two faster ones are from season 1 and 2, and also 4. But I do know 4. I'm gonna say, I guess, season 1.
Season 1. Let's find out.
Season 2. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Dang, it's so hard to hear with the drums. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would have never gotten that. See, that's why I was saying, I was like, I do know that in season 3 there's a very like softer intro, but man, I wouldn't have gotten that.
The main question of this episode is, can anime be appreciated or watched by normal people? Like, there's this connotation that, if you like anime, you're definitely a weeb, and you only live to go to conventions and etc., right? You just feed off of Mountain Dew. Would you say that is true, or would you say that we need to let go of that stereotype because these are stories that can be appreciated for everyone?
Right. Well, I will say this, okay? Before I got into anime, I told myself, I don't understand the people who are attracted to cartoon characters. Like, I'm speaking from someone who, before I got into it, now that I'm into it, I'm like, okay, I already have like 3 guys I want to date in this anime world. What is going on? So I get it from an outsider looking in.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in it, I get it. But for your question, I think that anyone can enjoy anime, so as long as you give it a chance. Like my father, as I mentioned before, I recommended Death Note, Attack on Titan. He absolutely loves it. He wanted to watch the next one and the next one. He didn't want to stop. Like usually some people, they'd be like, I'm done. Like, the ones who aren't interested or whatever, but he just wanted to keep on going. And that's the beauty with anime. Just give it a try. Just give it a try, and I guarantee that you'll find something that you like.
Amazing. And I do agree. I am not, like I said, even though I'm hosting this show and I'm doing this whole shebang, I wouldn't consider myself like a deep, like super beyond recognition fan of of anime, but I can appreciate what it does and what it gives.
Absolutely.
Especially as a film editor, I'm looking always for new and fresh stories. And they seem to have some of the best ideas.
Yeah.
It seems that nowadays we have some sort of, like you mentioned, repetitive stories to it, like just the same formula. There's
Yes.
reboots, but I've never heard of a. I mean, it's very rare because now that I'm thinking about it, yes, I've heard of it, but I've never. It's not often that you hear, "Oh yeah, they rebooted that anime." You know, they're just coming up with new ones.
Yep.
99% of the
idea.
time, there's
Yep.
no anime reboot. That's it.
I mean, you see the live actions, some of them could be a hit or miss, but otherwise, the anime itself, you're right. It's new ideas, original ideas, new ideas, and not a lot of what you see today when you turn on Netflix, just like the same stories over and over, but in like similar but kind of different ways. And I feel like each and every reboot is getting worse and worse, unfortunately.
Well, everyone, that was the first episode of Weebs and Waifus with Krista. Next week's episode, we're gonna have a different guest, and then we're gonna have live streams and panels and everything. Now, yes, you only saw 20 minutes from the first episode. If you want to watch the entire episode, you may go to geeksandgamers.com, and for the premium subscribers, you can watch the entire 1 hour episode. Now, you might be wondering right now, oh, so it's going to be behind a paywall forever and ever. No, that's not the case. If you ask for it, if the demand is super high and you just cannot get enough of it, we will bring it into the main channel and it will be a regular part of it. But it's only going to happen if you want it, if you ask for it. So in the meantime, you will get this kind of recaps. We're gonna see how they do, see how the people interact, pretty much just test the waters to see if it's gonna be a thing that we want to bring on the main channel. So until then, it's completely up to you to convince me and the entire Geeks and Gamer staff to bring this to the main channel. Alright guys, it's been a pleasure and I'll talk to you later. I am Ivan, your host, and Kalan, your co-host. And with that said, ya matane.